Jax Rowan had spent most of his life traveling alone between forgotten corners of space, fixing machines no one else wanted. People called him a mechanic, but he liked to think of himself as a machine healer. He believed every ship deserved a second chance, even the ones everyone else had given up on. His small workshop vessel, the Star Weaver, drifted slowly through a quiet region of space that didn't appear on most navigation maps. Jax liked places like that, calm, silent, untouched. They made him feel like he was the first person to ever walk there. The space around him looked empty at first, nothing but stars and dust. But Jax's scanners picked up something unusual, a weak signal, repeating in slow intervals. It wasn't the kind of emergency beacon humans used. The rhythm felt different, almost like a heartbeat. The signal was faint, too weak to understand, but strong enough to make him curious. Jax leaned closer to the screen and rubbed the growing stubble on his chin. Well now, he murmured to himself, who's whispering out here in the dark? He adjusted his course and let the Star Weaver glide toward the source of the signal. As he approached, faint shapes appeared on the radar, metal pieces, broken panels, and scattered fragments drifting like ghosts. It was an old debris field, but not the usual kind made by war or accidents. It felt more like nature had cracked something open. The pieces were smooth, curved, and strange. Jax narrowed his eyes. "This isn't human," he said softly. The debris cluster thinned out as he passed through, and then he saw it. A large, half-buried starship was wedged deep inside a split asteroid. It looked as if the asteroid had been hollowed out just enough to hold the ship. The vessel's surface shimmered faintly under starlight. Its body wasn't made of simple metal plates. Instead, it looked grown, like the structure of a seashell mixed with the veins of a leaf. Soft blue lighting pulsed along its hull, fading in and out as if the ship was breathing. Jax stared in awe. He had repaired hundreds of ships in his life, but nothing like this. "What in the stars are you?" he whispered. He brought the Star Weaver to a gentle stop and ran a detailed scan. The ship was damaged but intact. No sign of life, no working engines. But the odd, heartbeat-like signal was coming directly from it. It wasn't exactly a distress call, more like a slow, steady cry for attention. Jax felt his curiosity spark into excitement. This was exactly the kind of mystery he lived for. He suited up in his basic repair gear, grabbed a toolkit, and activated the docking bridge. As the tunnel connected with the alien ship's hull, he felt a small vibration through the floor, almost like the ship recognized contact. Jax paused, tilting his head. "That's new," he muttered. Still, he stepped forward. The air inside the alien ship was thin but breathable and smelled faintly of minerals, cool and clean, like the inside of a mountain cave. The walls glowed with soft pastel light, shifting from pale turquoise to gentle lavender. They had no sharp corners. Everything flowed like the inside of a living creature. Jax ran his fingers along the wall. It felt warm, almost like skin warmed by sunlight. "Not metal," he whispered. "Some kind of organic compound?" He made his way to the main corridor. His footsteps echoed quietly, swallowed quickly by the ship's strange material. Panels on the walls responded to his presence, brightening as he passed. It was as if the ship was trying to welcome him. Jax smiled nervously. "Well, you're friendly enough." He reached what he assumed was the command deck. It wasn't shaped like a human cockpit. Instead, it had a circular platform in the center, surrounded by flowing ridges and small glowing orbs. The ship seemed built for something tall and long, not human-shaped. Jax placed his toolkit on the floor and knelt beside the platform. He activated his scanner, but it picked up signals that didn't match any known technology. "Organic circuits, bioreactive material, partial energy flow," he read aloud. This is incredible. The ship gave a soft pulse of light as if reacting to his voice. Hey, don't get too excited, Jax laughed. I'm just a mechanic, but I'll see what I can do. He began examining the main power conduit. Much of it was damaged, but the structure reminded him of a tree's roots, twisted and graceful. The more he studied, the more he understood. If he bridged the broken pathways with something stable and flexible, the whole system might come back online. Jax worked slowly, humming to himself as he attached connectors, sealed openings, and adjusted the bio lines. The alien materials behaved strangely. Sometimes they stiffened under his touch. Other times they softened. The ship felt alive. Hours passed. Jax lost track of time, completely absorbed in the challenge. He loved the feeling of solving something new, something no one had ever taught him before. Here, in this silent, forgotten place, it was just him and the ship, two strangers trying to understand each other. At one point, as he tightened a connector, he felt a sudden warm pulse run through the floor. A bright glow spread slowly across the walls. He sat back, blinking. Did I just do that? He asked. The ship responded with a gentle hum, low and calming, like a grateful sigh. Jax chuckled nervously. Well, you're welcome, I think. He continued repairing, moving deeper toward the ship's core. The inner chambers were even stranger. Some looked like they were meant to grow crystals. Others looked like sleeping nests or healing pods. Everything felt designed with purpose, not just mechanical, but biological. He reached a large, spherical chamber near the heart of the ship. It was dark, silent, and cold. Jax raised his light and saw a cocoon-like structure in the center. It was cracked, as if something had once been inside but had been hurt or drained. He shivered slightly. What happened here? The ship gave no answer. Instead, Jax noticed faint energy lines leading from the chamber to the power conduits he had restored earlier. As he repaired more connections, the cocoon pulsed faintly, like a heartbeat trying to return, but it was too weak to be meaningful. Jax scratched his head. Looks like I need to get your main power core running, he said. Hang in there, friend. He moved to the core room. This room felt less organic and more crystalline. Shards of glowing mineral floated slowly inside a magnetic cradle. Most were dim, but a few flickered with tiny sparks. Jax examined the structure. The ship was trying to reboot itself but lacked the final spark. Good news, he said softly. I think I can fix this. Using parts from his toolkit and a custom flux bridge he built himself, he created a makeshift stabilizer. He connected it to the core, double-checked the clamps, and powered it on. At first, nothing happened. Then, a soft pulse, another one, stronger, faster. The entire ship lit up with a soft wave of color, like sunrise spreading across an alien sky. Jax shielded his eyes as light filled every corridor. The air warmed. The walls vibrated in a slow, steady rhythm. The ship's systems began powering up. Lights flickered, then settled into a stable glow. Holographic shapes flashed around the core, strange symbols and silhouettes of something long, elegant, and serpentine. Jax stared, puzzled. Now that's not normal ship memory data. But before he could study the shapes, the holograms faded. He didn't see the silent signal the ship sent into the void at that moment. He didn't hear the soft voice echoing through the long-distance network. He didn't know the meaning of the alien symbols that glowed briefly on the wall. Host vessel stabilizing, guardian life form preserved. Jax simply wiped his forehead, smiled proudly, and said, Well, my friend, you're not abandoned anymore. He had no idea that fixing an unknown ship in an empty corner of space had just changed the future of two species. He only knew one thing. This ship was special, and he couldn't wait to understand it more. Jax Rowan woke the next morning inside the Star Weaver with a strange feeling in his chest. It wasn't fear or worry. It was excitement. Sleep had come late because he couldn't stop thinking about the alien ship he'd found. Even now, as he stretched his arms and rubbed his face, memories of glowing corridors and organic circuits returned to him. Most mechanics dreamed of discovering lost human tech or old military prototypes. But Jax had found something else entirely, something alive, in its own quiet way. He grabbed a protein bar, took one long sip of water, and headed straight for the docking bridge without hesitation. The moment he stepped into the alien ship again, he felt it. The air was a little warmer, the lights a little brighter. The soft hum of the ship felt more stable, almost like a slow breathing pattern. "Morning," Jax said jokingly, patting the nearest wall. "Hope you're ready for another round." The wall beneath his palm pulsed softly in response. Jax chuckled. "You really are alive, aren't you?" He didn't mean it literally, at least not fully. He still wasn't sure if the ship was actually a living being or just an advanced form of biotech. But the way it reacted to him made him feel like it understood. He reached the main corridor and noticed something new. The glowing lines that ran along the walls were more organized now, flowing in smooth patterns rather than flickering randomly. The ship looked healthier. "That stabilizer must have done wonders," he said proudly. He looked down at his scanner. It showed a slow, steady flow of power throughout the ship. Not at full strength, but enough to revive basic systems. As he walked deeper, the lights followed him, brightening step by step like a path being laid in real time. Jax found this strangely comforting. It was like the ship didn't want him to walk in darkness. He entered the central chamber again, the one with the cocoon. Yesterday, this room had felt cold and lifeless. Now, the temperature was warmer and the cocoon pulsed faintly with a soft, golden light. Jax crouched beside it, inspecting the cracks. "You're waking up too, huh?" The cocoon didn't react strongly, just a slow, steady glow, enough to tell him it wasn't empty. His gaze moved toward the walls. Strange shapes flickered, faint holographic echoes, almost like memories trying to replay themselves. At one moment, he thought he saw a silhouette of something long with wings, but the image vanished before he could study it. "What are you hiding?" he whispered. There was no reply, of course. Not yet. Jax turned his attention to the main systems. He needed to understand the ship better before attempting larger repairs, so he decided to start with the closest thing the vessel had to a control center, the circular platform he had seen yesterday. When he reached it, the platform was already glowing faintly, like it had powered on by itself. Jax stepped onto it carefully. The light brightened under his weight, forming soft rings around his boots. "Okay, that's new," he murmured. The ridges around the platform shifted slightly, adjusting to his height as if trying to understand his body shape. Jax steadied himself, watching carefully so he didn't accidentally break anything. A soft projection appeared in front of him. Not words, not images, more like flowing trails of light that changed with his movements. "Are you trying to talk to me?" he asked gently. The projection responded by forming a pattern, a slow curve, then a line, then a spiral. Jax squinted. It wasn't a language he recognized. It wasn't math either. It felt more like emotion translated into visuals. "Well, I don't speak whatever this is," he admitted, scratching the back of his head. The projection dimmed for a moment, then shifted to what looked like a map of the ship. Now that he could understand. Jax leaned closer and traced the glowing pathways. "Power's flowing evenly. Hull is stable. Internal environment improving." He nodded. "Good, good. Let's see where you're still hurting." The map highlighted 3 major damage zones. The first was near the ship's outer shell, cracked hull plating. The second was in one of the bioreactive conduits. The third was deep inside the ship's heart, where strange shapes flickered like broken memories. Jack sighed softly. Looks like I've got my work cut out for me. He grabbed his toolkit and moved toward the first damaged area. The ship guided him, literally. The lights shifted, marking a path like stepping stones. Every time he paused, the glow waited. Every time he moved, it moved with him. "You're helpful," he said with a small smile. "Most human ships just beep at me." The ceiling lights pulsed once, almost as if laughing with him. A strange repair job. The first damaged area was a long hallway where the hull had cracked inward. Instead of metal plates, Jax found layered structures like overlapping petals. Some were broken, exposing soft, glowing fibers beneath. They twitched faintly when his light touched them. "Easy, easy," Jax whispered, holding his hands up like calming a nervous animal. "I'm just here to help." The fibers calmed, relaxing their movement. Jax worked slowly, peeling broken layers back and bonding new support braces. He used heat gel patches to seal the cracks, watching them melt into the alien material and blend like natural skin. When he finished, the ship gave a warm pulse of light. "That's one down," he said, wiping sweat from his brow. "Two to go." A deeper mystery. The second damaged area was in the bioreactive conduit. The lines here were tangled, almost knotted. Some parts looked like dried vines, others looked like thin, cracked bones. Whatever had happened to this ship must have been strong. Jack spent hours carefully separating damaged strands, cleaning the area, and rebuilding a stable flow channel. The moment he sealed the last connection, a wave of energy spread through the walls. The lights flickered, not in a bad way, but in a surprised one. "Yeah, I know," Jax laughed. "Feels better, doesn't it?" The ship responded with a soft vibration like a sigh of relief. But the final damaged area wasn't as easy. The Chamber of Echoes. When Jax entered the damaged heart chamber, he felt something different. The air was thicker, almost heavy. Crystals on the walls flickered like they were trying to communicate but lacked the strength. Strange, blurry images floated above the floor, flickers of memories trapped in loops. Jax frowned. "This is new." He approached the nearest flicker. It showed a shape, long, elegant, shining with scales like crystal. Wings unfolded like sheets of light. Then the image warped and faded. A second flicker appeared, showing what looked like the alien ship soaring through space with another glowing presence attached to it, like two beings linked as one. Then that image faded too. Jax felt a small shiver crawl up his spine. So this ship wasn't alone. The memories were damaged, incomplete. It reminded him of an injured person trying to speak but only managing fragments. Jax placed his hand gently on the nearest glowing crystal. "I'll help you. Just show me what to fix." The crystals brightened, guiding his attention to the chamber's core structure. A large web of lines, cracked in several places. Jax spent the next several hours repairing the delicate network. He used gentle tools, careful touches, and soft words, even though he knew the ship might not understand the language. He still believed tone mattered. When he finished the final link, the chamber brightened suddenly. The flickers stabilized. The images became clearer. Jax gasped softly. Now he saw it properly. A magnificent creature, something like a dragon but smoother, more elegant, with wings that shimmered like sunlight on water. It spiraled through space alongside the ship as if they were partners. Its eyes glowed with calm intelligence. "What are you?" he whispered. The image faded before he could study it further. But Jax didn't notice. In the corner of the room, the cocoon from earlier was glowing brighter, reacting to the restored memories. He only felt the gentle vibration of gratitude flowing through the floor. "You're welcome," he whispered again. A silent signal. Later that night, Jax walked back toward the Star Weaver to rest. He stretched his back, feeling tired but proud. He looked back at the alien ship, glowing softly like a sleeping giant. "You're almost fully awake," he said. "Just hold on a little longer." But as Jax stepped away, something the mechanic didn't see began to happen. The ship sent another silent message into the void, stronger this time, clearer. It carried a meaning Jax could not translate. Systems restoring. Guardian life form stabilizing. Awakening soon. The cocoon pulsed once, twice, as if agreeing. Jax, unaware of the deeper importance of his work, simply smiled, walked back into his own ship and whispered, "Tomorrow, we finish the job." Jax Rowan returned to the alien ship early the next day with a new energy in his step. He hadn't slept much, but excitement kept him awake. The ship had changed so much in only 2 days. It felt almost like he was helping a sleeping creature regain its strength. And somewhere deep inside, Jax sensed that something important was coming. When he stepped through the docking bridge, warm air welcomed him. The lights brightened smoothly, flowing like gentle waves. The soft hum beneath the floor was stronger now, steady and calm. "Good morning," Jax said, touching the nearest wall. "Looks like you're feeling better today?" The wall glowed faintly beneath his hand. Jax laughed. "You're getting very expressive lately." He walked deeper inside. Today he planned to check the inner chambers again and make sure everything was stable. But as he moved toward the central corridor, he felt something new, a strange vibration, soft but rhythmic, like a heartbeat not coming from the ship itself. He paused. What was that? The vibration came again. Slow, gentle, alive. Jax followed the sound, turning left and then right until he reached the room with the cocoon, the same chamber he had visited many times. The cocoon didn't look the same anymore. Before, it had been dim and cracked. Now it glowed with warm golden light, like a rising sun trapped inside a shell. Soft lines traveled across its surface, pulsing with energy in a calm pattern. Jax felt his breath catch. "You're waking up." He stepped closer carefully, scanning the cocoon. His scanner readings spiked with energy, but everything looked stable. No danger, no imbalance. Jax placed his hand gently against the glowing surface. It was warm. Alive. He whispered, "Can you hear me?" The cocoon responded with a faint, soft chime. Jax moved back a step as the chamber lights brightened. The ship hum increased, as if reacting to the cocoon's awakening. He looked around slowly, unsure whether he should feel nervous or amazed. "Well," he said softly, "I guess I'm not alone after all." A gentle awakening. Minutes passed. The light inside the cocoon grew stronger, swirling with slow movement like golden mist. The cracks along the cocoon widened, but not in a dangerous way. More like a flower unfurling in morning light. Jax kept a safe distance, watching with wide eyes. The cocoon pulsed once, then again. Then it opened, not with force, but with beauty. The shell split in smooth motions, like petals unfolding. A soft glow filled the chamber. Jax shielded his eyes for a moment. When he looked again, he froze in wonder. A creature lay curled inside the opened cocoon, long, elegant, and unlike anything Jax had ever imagined. Its scales shimmered with soft, crystal-like colors, reflecting light like prisms. Wings folded neatly against its body glowed faintly, each wing shaped like a woven piece of starlight. It was peaceful, breathing gently, as if waking from a long, healing sleep. Jax whispered, barely able to speak, "You're real." The creature opened its eyes slowly. They glowed like polished silver, calm and wise. The creature lifted its head and looked directly at Jax, not with fear, not with confusion, but with quiet recognition. Jax took a slow step back. "Hi, I didn't mean to disturb you." The creature blinked and tilted its head, studying him. Then, without opening its mouth, a soft voice echoed gently inside Jax's mind. "You restored my home." Jax's heart skipped. He looked around the room. "Was that you? Did you speak to me?" The voice came again, warm and kind. "Yes, do not fear. I thank you, human." Jax swallowed hard. You're telepathic." The creature shifted gently, stretching its wings a little. Soft light shimmered around its body with every movement. "My name is Virith," the voice said. "I am a star guardian of the Lume Creed." Jax blinked, trying to process the words. "Virith? Star guardian. Okay, that sounds very important." The creature gave what felt like a soft, amused breath. "And you? What do they call you?" "Jax Rowan," he replied quietly. "I'm just a mechanic." Virith's wings glowed gently. "There is no just, Jax Rowan. You repaired what none of my kind could reach in time. You brought life back to a vessel that was fading." Jax rubbed the back of his neck, embarrassed. "Honestly, I didn't even know you were in there." "Yet you helped anyway," Virith replied. "That is what matters." Understanding the past. Jax sat on a smooth, curved bench the ship formed beneath him, still trying to understand the situation. Virith slowly unfolded its wings and stepped forward with graceful motions. The chamber brightened as the ship reacted to the dragon's presence. The walls pulsed warmly, as if welcoming someone dear. "This ship," Jax said softly. "It listens to you." Virith nodded. "It is my companion. Not a machine as you know them, but a living vessel born from ancient knowledge. We are bonded. When it was damaged, I was injured as well. When you repaired it, you gave me strength." Jax glanced around. "So you and the ship are connected?" "Yes. We share life, memory, and purpose." Jax felt a sense of awe fill him, a living ship, a bonded guardian. This was beyond anything humanity had imagined. Virith continued, "We were traveling through the outer paths of the Lume Nebula when a great distortion storm struck us. It separated us from our fleet and damaged the vessel deeply. I entered the healing cocoon, but the ship lost too much power to complete the process." Jax nodded slowly. "So you were stuck, waiting." "Waiting, fading," Virith corrected gently, "until you came." Jax looked at the glowing walls. "I just didn't want to leave a beautiful ship abandoned." Virith lowered its head slightly in gratitude. "Humans," Virith said softly, "surprise me." Jax blinked. "You know about humans?" "Only from distant records. Your kind is young in the stars, curious, restless, creative. Many species avoid unknown things. Yet you walked into this ship without fear." Jax chuckled. "I didn't know there was something to fear." "Exactly," Virith said, amused. "Your courage is unintentional. That is what makes it pure." Jax rolled his eyes. "Well, good to know I'm brave by accident." The ship lights shimmered gently, almost like laughter. A gradual bond. Over the next several hours, Jax and Virith talked, speaking with Jax's voice and Virith's mind. Jax asked questions. Virith answered with calm wisdom. He learned that Virith's species traveled between star regions, not for conquest or expansion, but to protect cosmic roots, heal star-born life forms, and keep balance in unstable space zones. In simpler words, they were peaceful guardians. The more Virith spoke, the more Jax understood why the ship felt alive. It was not a standard vessel at all. It was a grown structure, designed to respond to emotions, thoughts, and harmony with its bonded guardian. At one point, Jax said softly, "I've never met anything like you." Virith folded its wings gently. "And I have never met a human who repairs strangers without expecting reward." Jax shrugged. Fixing things is just what I do. And helping is who you are, Virith replied. The ship responds. As Virith grew stronger, the ship's systems reacted even more vividly. Floors grew smoother. Light patterns synchronized with Virith's movements. Soft, wind-like sounds filled the corridors, giving the ship a peaceful atmosphere. Jax followed Virith to the command platform. When Virith stepped into the center, the platform changed completely, no longer reacting to Jax's human form, but forming shapes around Virith's long body. The ship's lights brightened in harmony. Jax watched in amazement. Wow! I was never able to make it do that. It recognizes me, Virith explained. We are connected by design. Before Jax could respond, the holographic display formed a stable image, a star map glowing softly. Virith studied it with calm eyes. The path home is clear. My people are far but not unreachable. Jax felt something twist slightly in his chest. He tried to smile. That's good news. Virith looked at him gently. You have given me life again, Jax Rowan, and you have my gratitude. Always. Jax rubbed his hands together awkwardly. Anyone would have helped. No, Virith corrected softly. Not everyone would. A moment of peace. They returned to the cocoon chamber, now glowing softly as if thankful. The ship's hum settled into a calm rhythm. Everything felt healed and whole. Jax sat quietly, watching Virith explore the room with slow grace. He didn't feel fear, only wonder. Finally, Virith approached him. I sense your day's work is complete, it said gently. You should rest. Jax nodded. Yeah, I guess I should. As he walked toward the exit, Virith's soft, calm voice echoed in his mind one last time. Sleep well, Jax Rowan. Tomorrow we fly. Jax paused at the doorway, a small smile forming. Yeah, he whispered. Tomorrow. He returned to the Star Weaver, unaware of how deeply his life was about to change. Unaware that, for the first time in centuries, a Star Guardian had chosen a human as a trusted ally. Jax Rowan woke up early the next day with a strange mix of calm and excitement. He didn't rush out of bed, but he didn't waste time either. Something inside him knew today would be different. Today, he wasn't just repairing a strange ship. Today, he would be talking to a living star dragon. After a quick breakfast, he walked toward the alien vessel again. The docking bridge connected smoothly, as if the ship itself prepared the entrance for him. The moment he stepped inside, the soft lights rippled across the walls like a warm greeting. Good morning, Jax said, touching the glowing surface gently. The wall responded with a cheerful pulse. Jax chuckled and walked deeper inside. He felt lighter than usual. Working alone for years made him quiet, almost too quiet. But now he wasn't alone in this forgotten corner of space. Something wise, kind, and ancient was waiting for him. He found Virith in the central hall, standing gracefully in the soft blue light. The dragon's wings shimmered gently, and its silver eyes glowed with calm warmth. Good morning, Jax Rowan, Virith said telepathically. Your presence awakens the ship's harmony. Jax raised an eyebrow. My presence. I'm just walking in. Your steps carry intention, Virith replied, lowering its long neck to meet Jax's eye level. Humans create balance without knowing. It is your quiet brilliance. Jax scratched the back of his head, embarrassed. You give me too much credit. Not enough, Virith said. The ship lights brightened as if agreeing. Helping the Guardian heal. Virith invited Jax deeper inside. The inner crystal chambers glowed stronger now. The cocoon that once held the dragon was empty but shining with soft white light, like a reminder of a past hardship that had finally ended. My strength is returning quickly, Virith said, but we must still realign a few inner channels before full flight. Inner channels, Jax repeated, like Nerves? Something similar, Virith said with a gentle nod. The vessel is alive. Its pathways must match my energy, and I must match theirs. You restored the damaged parts, but harmony still needs shaping. Jax stepped closer. I can help. Virith tilted its head. You already have. But today, I want you to understand something I have learned from watching you. Jax blinked. What do you mean? Your methods. Virith moved toward a cluster of glowing veins along the wall. They pulsed unevenly, still slightly out of sync. Your tools are simple, Virith explained. Your technology is young, yet you repaired systems far beyond your species' understanding, not by copying knowledge, but by feeling your way through it. Jax shrugged. Well, machines talk, not with words, but with patterns. If I listen long enough, I understand what they need. Virith's eyes brightened. And that is the brilliance of humanity. You look at the universe not with fear, but with curiosity. You move forward even when you do not know the path. That is rare. Jax didn't know what to say. No one had ever spoken about humans like that, not even another human. Virith continued. I watched you repair the conduits. You used tools made of simple metals, yet you adapted them to living structures as if you had done it for years. I guess I just, try things until they work. That, Virith said, is what makes your kind extraordinary. Harmonizing the ship. The two began working together, not like mechanic and client, but more like partners. Virith guided Jax to different chambers where the ship's bioenergy still flickered unevenly. Whenever Jax touched a panel, the material softened and reacted to him, as if the ship trusted him. Jax started adjusting the channels, smoothing them, realigning crystal nodes, and securing loose growth lines. Every time he finished an adjustment, Virith stood nearby, adding subtle telepathic energy that helped the ship stabilize. At one point, Jax noticed something strange. Whenever Virith focused, gentle waves of light flowed through the walls like ripples in water. Jax felt warmth in his chest during those moments. Not heat, but a calm feeling, like standing near a peaceful fire. What is that? Jax asked. Harmony, Virith replied. The vessel responds to emotion, not only physical repair. When I feel calm, grateful, or hopeful, the ship grows stronger. Jax smiled. No wonder it likes you. It likes you as well, Virith said. More than you know. The ship pulsed brightly in agreement. Human ingenuity. As they continued repairs, Virith noticed something Jax did that surprised the dragon deeply. Jax didn't follow strict steps. He didn't need advanced equipment. He didn't analyze every line of alien code. Instead, he trusted his instincts, adjusting things carefully, testing ideas, modifying tools on the spot, and solving problems with creativity instead of fear. At one point, Jax couldn't reach a narrow crystal gap. No tool fits, he muttered. Virith stepped forward. Then perhaps this repair must wait. Not really, Jax said, already pulling his toolkit apart. He took two small clamps, bent them, melted them together with a heat patch, and created a thin-hooked tool that didn't exist 5 minutes ago. There, he said proudly. Custom tool. Virith stared at him with wide, glowing eyes. You created that just now? Jax nodded. Had to. Nothing else worked. No blueprint? No design memory? Jax shrugged. Didn't need one. Virith let out a slow, amazed breath. Your mind bends like flowing water. You shape solutions without being taught. Your kind truly is remarkable. Jax blushed. You really think so? I know so, Virith answered. The ship pulsed warmly again, agreeing with its guardian. A meaningful lesson. Later, after hours of work, the two took a break in the quiet central hall. Virith sat gracefully on a smooth platform, while Jax rested against the glowing wall. The ship was different now, brighter, peaceful, alive. Jack sighed contently. Feels like the ship is breathing easier. Because it is, Virith replied, and so am I. After a moment, Virith added softly, Jax Rowan, do you know why humans are feared and admired in equal measure across the stars? Jax frowned. Feared? Admired? We haven't even met most species yet. Virith folded its wings gently. It is not because of power. It is because of potential. Humans grow fast, learn fast, create fast. You adapt to anything. You see empty space and imagine possibilities. Others see danger. You see opportunity. Jax looked at his hands silently. Your brilliance is unpolished, Virith continued, but pure. Where other species follow strict tradition, humans follow curiosity. That makes your kind unpredictable and extraordinary. Jax felt warmth spread through his chest. He had never thought of humanity that way. He had always believed humans were clumsy, messy, and chaotic. But Virith saw something different. Final adjustments. Virith stood and gestured with one shimmering wing. Come, the final alignment awaits. They moved to the heart chamber where the ship's main crystal core floated gently in a magnetic cradle. Its glow was strong, but not fully synchronized. Virith closed its eyes, extending its wings. Jax watched as soft energy flowed from the dragon's body into the core. It rippled outward like gentle waves. Beautiful, Jax whispered. Harmony must be complete, Virith said. Touch the core base. Jax placed his hands on the smooth lower surface. It felt warm and alive, almost like a heartbeat. For a few seconds, nothing happened. Then the entire ship lit up at once. Color flowed through the corridors. Light danced on the walls. A soft sound like chimes carried on a gentle breeze filled the ship. The hum became a peaceful melody. Virith opened its eyes slowly. It is done. Jax breathed out a long sigh. We did it. Yes, Virith said warmly. Together. Hope returns. Virith looked around the glowing chamber with deep emotion. My people. I thought I would never see them again. Jax sensed the meaning behind the words. Hope, relief, a peaceful longing. He placed a hand on Virith's leg gently. You'll see them soon. Virith's eyes softened. Because of you. Jax shook his head. Because you kept fighting. No, Virith insisted softly. You gave me a chance to fight again. The ship pulsed warmly again, as if embracing both of them. A new partnership. As they walked back toward the central hall, Virith said, You have shown me something precious about humanity, that your kind does not need advanced tools to do great things. Your minds and hearts are enough. Jax smiled. And you've shown me there's more out here than I ever imagined. Virith lowered its head respectfully. Jax Rowan, today you are more than a mechanic. You are a bridge between worlds. Jax laughed lightly. That sounds too big for one person. And yet you have already done it, Virith replied. The soft golden lights of the ship glowed brighter around them, as if celebrating a new bond, not of species or duty, but of trust. Jax Rowan stood at the entrance of the alien ship, staring into the glowing halls that had now become strangely familiar to him. The warm light, the gentle hum beneath his boots, and the soft shimmer in the walls felt comforting, almost like stepping into a friend's home. Today was the day the ship would fly again. And today was the day Virith, the star dragon he had saved, would finally return to the sky. He stepped inside, running a hand through his slightly messy hair. All right, he said softly. Let's see what's next. The ship greeted him by brightening its lights in a welcoming wave. Jax couldn't help smiling. It still amazed him how alive the whole vessel felt, almost like a giant, gentle creature reacting to his presence. He walked farther inside until he reached the central hall where Virith waited. The dragon's crystal-like scales shimmered more brightly than ever. Its wings looked fully restored, long, elegant, and glowing with soft light. Virith's silver eyes reflected the soft colors of the chamber as it turned toward Jax. "You are early," Virith said in his mind, voice warm like a calm breeze. Jax shrugged. "Couldn't sleep longer. Too excited. Also a bit nervous." Virith lowered its head. "There is no need for nervousness. Today is a day of new beginnings." Jax nodded quietly. He knew that Virith's awakening was important, but realizing the moment was actually here, that the ship was ready to fly with its guardian again, made his heart feel tight in his chest. He wasn't sure if it was pride or sadness, maybe both. He approached Virith slowly. "So, everything is ready?" "Yes," Virith answered. "The vessel is fully healed, our energy is aligned, and thanks to your work, our bond is strong again." Jax rubbed the back of his neck. "I'm glad I could help." "You did more than help," Virith said gently. "You restored hope." The ship's light shimmered softly, agreeing. Preparing for flight, Virith led Jax to the main control platform. The platform shifted as the dragon stepped onto it, forming smooth shapes around its long body. It responded to Virith's energy like an old friend waking up. When Jax followed, the platform formed a small raised section for him, almost like a seat, though the ship had no real chairs. "You made a spot for me?" Jax asked, surprised. "The ship remembers those who healed it," Virith said. "It has grown fond of you." Jax laughed softly. "I think I've grown fond of it too." Virith spread its wings slowly. The ship lights brightened, and a low, soothing hum filled the hall. Then gently, Virith lowered its head and touched the platform with its forehead. The ship reacted instantly. Soft waves of glowing energy flowed across the walls. Lines of light moved like water, gathering toward the central pillar. The floor vibrated gently under Jax's boots. "The ship awakens," Virith said in a calm but powerful tone. Jax felt the chamber expanding with energy, though it never became uncomfortable. It was like standing inside a rising dawn. The ship's outer shell closed around them, sealing the hall in a soft, warm glow. "Are we taking off?" Jax asked, gripping the edge of the platform. "Yes," Virith replied with reassuring calm. "Stay steady. I am with you." First flight together. The ship lifted gently. There was no shaking, no loud engines, no rumbling. It rose as smoothly as a feather caught in a soft breeze. Jax stared in awe as the hall transformed. The crystal walls shifted from solid structures to transparent view screens. Stars appeared. Silent, endless, beautiful stars. They drifted upward like gliding through water, moving past the asteroid field where the ship had once been trapped. The Star Weaver floated nearby, its small frame blinking under the light of distant suns. Jax felt his heart swell. "It's so smooth." "Living vessels do not fight space," Virith explained. "We move with it." Jax nodded with wide eyes, unable to look away from the stunning view. The ship began to glide forward, faster now, but still completely smooth. The stars streaked softly around them, weaving into long trails of light. Jax whispered, "I've flown many ships, but nothing like this." "And you may fly this one," Virith answered gently, "as long as I am beside you." Jax looked up, startled. "Really?" "You have earned the ship's trust," the dragon said, "and mine. A promise." Across galaxies. For a long while, they traveled quietly through the dark ocean of space. Jax felt peaceful, almost weightless, as if the ship carried not just his body but his worries too. Eventually, he broke the silence. "Virith, what will happen when you find your people?" Virith's eyes softened. "I will rejoin them. They must know I am alive." Will you stay with them? Jax asked carefully. Yes, Virith said. It is my duty as a guardian. Jax swallowed. So, this might be goodbye. Not goodbye, Virith corrected gently. A beginning of a different path. Jax tried to smile. A long-distance friendship, huh? The dragon's wings glowed softly. Distance does not weaken real bonds. The ship hummed in agreement. Then Virith surprised him. It lifted one wing, revealing a small, glowing crystal scale resting on the platform. It pulsed with a gentle light that matched Virith's own energy. Take this, Virith said. A star-forged scale from my own crest. Jax picked it up gently. It was warm, smooth, and filled with soft vibrations, like a tiny heartbeat. What does it do? He asked. It resonates with me, Virith replied. No matter where you are in the galaxy, hold it, and I will hear you. Jax stared at the scale with wide eyes. You're serious? Very. Jax laughed softly, though his voice trembled. I don't know what to say. Say nothing, Virith said. Your actions have spoken enough. The moment of parting hours passed. Eventually, a distant cluster of shining stars appeared ahead, glowing in patterns like flowing rivers of light. Virith lowered its wings in awe. Home! Jax could feel the dragon's emotions, relief, joy, and peace. He stood slowly, placing a hand on Virith's leg. You're going to be okay. I am because of you. The ship slowed gently. The stars ahead shimmered brighter now, like a constellation welcoming a long-lost member. Jax took a deep breath. Guess this is your stop. For now, Virith said. Jax stepped toward the exit bay as the ship formed a smooth path for him back to the docking bridge. Virith followed behind, each step radiating soft light. Before Jax left, the dragon lowered its head until their faces were close. Jax Rowan, Virith said gently, you fixed a forgotten ship and saved a guardian who had almost lost hope. Jax smiled sadly. I just did what I could. No, Virith replied. You did more. You reminded me that even the smallest spark can reignite a star. The ship pulsed one last time, warm and peaceful. Jax stepped onto the docking bridge, holding the glowing scale in his hand. Virith spread its wings, filling the hall with shimmering light. Call me if you ever need me, Virith said, and I will return across galaxies. Jax's voice was soft. I will. A human's quiet legacy. Jax returned to the Star Weaver and watched through the window as the alien ship glowed brighter. Its wings of crystal opened wide, catching starlight like sails. Virith lifted off slowly, then soared forward with a movement so graceful it stole Jax's breath. The ship streaked across the stars, leaving behind a long trail of shimmering light. Jax stood quietly as the glow became smaller, and then disappeared into the endless sky. He let out a breath he hadn't realized he was holding. Well, he whispered with a small smile. All that from fixing an old engine. He looked down at the glowing scale in his hand. Humanity really does get into the strangest adventures. He sat back in his pilot's seat, turned on the Star Weaver, and prepared to travel again, now carrying a bond that stretched across galaxies, glowing gently in the palm of his hand.